Hi, and welcome to Faith into Greatness. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today, I wanted to speak on, have we taken the doctrine of religion too far? To the point where we are hurting one another, we are segregating and dividing each other from one another, instead of communing as a body of the Lord of Christ, all as one. I have always found it fascinating and I've always observed human behavior. As a child, my parents never forced me to wear hijab. The reason my parents never forced me was because they taught me from an early age, men do not exist in your world until you get married. You don't see them, you don't acknowledge them, you don't even know they're there. You don't take their opinion, you don't talk to them. They are nothing to you until you get married and you have a family with that person. And because my parents put that in my mind from an early age, I had no problem, with modesty. I knew that being a woman of the Lord meant you were covered, you're dressed, you're not out there invoking lust, invoking passion in men. You're not out there invoking that in anybody for that matter. You're just out here minding your own business, working to live a life to support yourself, being a responsible adult, and doing good and being there for others as well. Okay, that's what God wants from us. Now, in my family, my mom never wore hijab. And you know what? I never saw my mother flirting with another man. I saw my mom. She was by my father's side always. He did whatever he wanted. But she followed the Lord. She was obedient to God. That was very important to her. And because of her obedience, she had peace. My mother dressed very modestly. I remember in college, going to college and seeing so many girls who were of Islamic faith, because I went to Rutgers, Newark. The first term I went to another campus, but the second term I went to Rutgers, Newark. And I remember just seeing so many women who were covered in hijab, who were sitting on men's lap and who were hugging them and kissing them. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, what are they doing? They shouldn't be doing all that. And you have a head covering, and that just felt like a blasphemy to the Lord in a way, because don't even make the representation, right? Don't even put the head covering on. Just walk around and be free at that point, because that's what you're doing. You're not being obedient to the Lord. So it's really interesting. I wasn't judging them or anything, but from an early age, I was observing, and I was observing, constantly looking at other people's conduct and all this stuff. So I just want to ask, in light of all these things that have happened around the world with respect to women and hijab and all this stuff, at what point are we going to ask ourselves as society, have we taken the law and the doctrine too far? Okay, modesty in God lives in each and every one of us. If somebody is invoked by passion or whatever, please understand the words, the doctrine is not there for you to hurt anybody. It's there to show you how we're supposed to be living. And it's there to show you that none of us are better than the next, and that we are not to be a stumbling block to one another, but rather to walk with one another and hold each other's hand. I hope this message really blesses you all. And I pray to God that God enlightens each and every one of us to understand that we all should not be against each other, but we should all be unified with respect to God. Take care and God bless.